Senator Harder, 3 years ago, Liberal Party leader Justin Trudeau made a political choice to, let's see, how would the CEO of United Airlines put this? He reaccommodated Liberal senators with years of parliamentary knowledge and experience from his caucus. That was a mistake. Then, in your former role as the head of the Trudeau government transition team, you advised Prime Minister Trudeau on changes to the Senate. With your guidance, this Trudeau government made a political choice to stop appointing senators as part of the government caucus, but instead appoint ostensibly independent senators. The problem is, this government, advised by you, failed to think through the ramifications of that political choice. Now you're finding it difficult to pass the Trudeau government's paltry legislative agenda through this chamber. Your grand experiment is a failure, and rather than admit that and work on fixing it, now you want to change all the rules and destroy Canada's parliamentary system in the process. The current parliamentary system of a government and an opposition has served this country well for 150 years. And now you want to destroy that entire history to serve the whims of one person, Justin Trudeau, well, two people if you count Jerry Butts. Senator Harder, what will it take for you to admit that this whole ill-conceived scheme has been a colossal mistake?
The objective is to make you happy. I thank the honourable senator for a question. Let me say that well before any appointments were made by Prime Minister Trudeau, the first of which were sworn in a year ago today, I should add.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
This Senate, in its wisdom, and it was wise, began a modernization process. And that modernization process is underway, and it is one in which all senators will have voice, both through the committee's work and ultimately when the reports come to the Senate. The future and the modernization of the Senate is in the hands of all senators equally. What the Prime Minister has done is given the Senate the opportunity to do just that and to build on the approach he took to have an advisory committee make recommendations to have appointments made as independent senators. And the objective has been to achieve a more independent, a less partisan, transparent, accountable, and complementary chamber to that of the other place. That is something that we are all going to work on at a pace and with the architecture that we all conclude is the way forward. It is not in the hands of the Prime Minister by any means. It is in our collective hands, and I look forward to working with all senators, both those who have served a long time and those who have come as recently as last December, with the committees that have been established on our behalf collectively to do this, so that we can, as the months and years go forward, bring this Senate to become the institution our founders designed it to be and our people of Canada expect it to be.
Minister Batters.
Senator Harder, as the Trudeau government transition team head, you would have advised the Prime Minister on progressing government legislation through the Senate. And once you were appointed to the Senate, and then appointed as the Trudeau government leader in the Senate, you could set those plans in motion. But because your plan may not have been fully thought out, now you're having difficulties getting legislation through. And you want to change all the rules because, frankly, your plan was a bit of a stinker to begin with. Now you're proposing the establishment of a Senate Business Committee, a kind of a Politburo to set the government's agenda in this place. But that is supposed to be the government leader, the government deputy leader, and the government whip's job. Senator Harder, your office has a $1.5 million budget for a caucus of 3. We now know that your legion of staff has been spending their time writing a 20-page document advocating the destruction of our Canadian parliamentary system to accommodate your government's failed experiment. You're not attending cabinet committees, you're not answering questions on behalf of the government in this chamber, and you've helped to create an unworkable system that's not passing what few pieces of legislation this Trudeau government has bothered to propose. You served in the public service for many years, Senator Harder. What kind of a performance review would you give an employee like that?
Senator Harder.
A former senator sent me a note the other day, a former Conservative senator, and I would use it as a response with all due respect to the syntax of Barry Goldwater. Excessive language in defense of old-style partisanship is no virtue. Moderation in defense of less partisanship is no vice.